because the most important thing for me is to really understand what is being said. And once I can understand that, then to me, using the tool is secondary. So I've really focused my time on understanding, what is behind all this data that we are talking about. You understand? And that's part of what I'll be demonstrating tonight. So like Sister Debbie has always said, data has a life cycle. Anything living has a life cycle. You understand? Products have life cycle, human beings have life cycle, we all have life cycle. So data too has its own life cycle. So from the time you collect the data, from the time data is born to the time data dies and is buried, that's a life cycle. So, and why is it important to have a to really look at the life cycle? Because organizations do that because they need to manage their data. You know, they need to look at the security, different aspects. They need to form policies on their data. They need to know who is the data owner. Who is making changes. So because of this, the organization has to monitor the life cycle of data, because sometimes you've kept a data for 20 years and the regulation says, okay, after 7 years, you don't need to keep the data again. So why are you keeping it for 20 years? You need to destroy the data, because there's no regulation that will bound you again, because you've exceeded that time. So these are part of the things I've come to learn about data, but our focus today will be on data analysis, which is part of the life cycle. So I'll be using Northwind, and I believe every one of us has this. Can you see my screen now?
We can.
Yeah, so this is the source of the data I'll be using. So I'll just copy it and get it ready on my clipboard. I'll go back to my Excel sheet. So what I want to do is that I want to bring that source into this into Excel. And how do I do that? I do that by coming under data tab. So you have your file, home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, because we're actually working with data now. So all the tools you need to work with data will be under this data tab, because we are working with data now. So we want to get that data. And like Sadebi has always said, there are different sources, but we want to use what we call OData feed. So this like an API stuff. It just connects to the SoftVan API and brings it in for us. So you just copy the link into the URL. Can you still see my screen, just to be sure?
We can.
Okay, thank you. So you just click OK. And the first place it comes into the navigator. And what the navigator helps you to do is to select multiple items. So you click on that. So these are all the tables available under that source, under that link. So you have the alphabetical list, categories, you have all these tables. But we are just interested in few of the tables. We're interested in categories. We're interested in customers. We're interested in employees. We're interested in other details. We're interested in orders. We're interested in products. Then we're interested in the regions. We're interested in the shippers. We're interested in the suppliers. We're interested in the territories. And there's a concept called ETL. So for those who are business analysts or data analysts, or if you're in the agile environment, anytime they are discussing data, this word always comes up, ETL. ETL means extract, transform, and load. So now we have extracted the data from that source, from the Northwind source link. We have extracted that data, and that's the stage we are now, the stage of extracting that data. Then we have now come into the navigator pane now. Then we are now kind of selecting the data we need, the tables we need, and we now have to take it into a place where we have to go and transform it. So we don't load immediately because we need to clean the data first. Because usually when you get data from sources, when it lands in the other place is going to, well, let me just call it the staging area. When it lands where you're going to prepare it, it's usually distorted. Maybe 1 0 is added at the end. Maybe there's some space here and there. Maybe some things are missing. So usually we need to clean the data, and that's what I'll be doing now. So I'll just click on transform data. And that opens our Power Query editor. So we can see all our tables on our left-hand side. So we brought in 10 queries, 10 tables. That was what we brought in. And we are currently on the categories table now. So category is just, okay, this table, all these tables, right, they're talking about the orders that were placed and the sales we made, the customers who bought it, the employees who processed those orders, the products we sold, the regions we sold them in, the people who shipped it, the people who supplied those products, the territories in which we sold them. So we're doing all this because we're going to analyze this later. That's why we have so many tables like this. And okay, let me just talk through the cleaning aspect first. So we have at least this table is not too big. So we have the category ID. So these are the attributes. These are the attributes of the, this is the ID. This is the ID. So, and these are the attributes. Okay, sorry, let me go back. This, when you go horizontally this way, that's a row. We call it a row. That's a record. And we call this vertically like this. We call these fields or attributes. So category itself is an entity on its own. Because what is an entity? Entity is anything we are gathering data about is an entity. It could be a person, it could be a place, it could be a thing, it could be an event, anything we want to gather data about is an entity. So this is the category. And for every entity, the entity must have a name, which is this category name here. And the entity must have a unique ID as well, which is the category ID. And that's how you can distinguish this, the entity, you know. So the category is the whole entity. So you now have each individual entity now, each one, which is an individual entity. This row now is an individual entity. It's an individual entity. Row 1, row 2, row 3, they are all individual entities making up the collective category entity. So in order for us to be able to analyze the data, I'll try and speed up now. The formatting of the data matters a lot. We have to get the formatting right, especially when you're going to load. When you're going to load your data somewhere else, you know, the format here needs to conform with the format where you're going to load it to. If the format is not the same, they are not talking to each other, then you're going to have problems with your data. You know, so like Sister Debbie has always told us, your numbers in Excel, they are aligned to the right, and your texts are aligned to the left. So you see them on the leftmost side, like this one. Like look at the beverages now, is starting from the left, is tilting to the left-hand side of the cell. But if you look at this one, it's tilting to the right-hand side. It left all these places and it's tilting to the right. So that shows you that it's a number. So text always tilt to the left-hand side. So then also there are some columns that is not relevant to us, and because we can't really interpret what binary is. The table, well, we don't really need that. This is telling us the table of products. So once you expand that, it will tell you the table of products. We don't need that because we already have a product table already. So we don't need that. So we delete both of these ones. So how do you delete? You select this one, you press Control down on your keyboard, and you press this one as well, and you go to remove columns. You can right click, or you can go to remove columns and remove the columns. So, and you've gotten rid of that. And the apply step tells you what we just did now. We've just removed the columns. So like Sister David always said, there's no undo here. This is what tells us, you know, this is what helps us to undo in a Power Query. Like we said, IDs, we don't want Excel to go and add this up as numbers. So what we do is that we convert that into a text so that Excel doesn't add that up. So, you know, the formatting is okay. The data type is fine. There's no missing, there's no missing figures and things like that. There's no missing spaces and things like that. So I think this table is fine. So we just quickly go to the next table. Okay. I think there's something Sister Debbie used sometime. Is it this one? Column profile, is it? No, not this one. Column quality, is it this one? So we have, yeah, I clicked on that because the data is much. It wasn't like the other one. I wanted to see in terms of the data if everything is if there are errors, really major errors really on the data, and we can't find that. So I'll switch that off for now. I got down that view, then the column quality. So I'll just put that off for now. And I'll just quickly scan through individually. Okay. So we have null here. So we don't need null when we are doing our analysis. We have to remove that. Then we have the tables again. Okay. So we have to decide what we want to keep here. So I think the customer ID is relevant to customers. The company name is relevant. And so the company name will be like the customer's name. So these are our customers that bought from us. So we sold to these companies. So this like the contact name of the person in the contact of the person in the company. Then what again? Then I don't think we need this. It may not be relevant. It depends on what you want to achieve anyway. But I don't think I need contact title. But the name is okay. Once we can have the name and the phone number of that person, it's fine. At least for the purpose of this class, we may not need this. That's what I'm trying to say. So address, we may not need that. City, we might need the city. Region is null. So I think there's an error there. So we might have to take it out. Postal code, we don't need. Country. Because we already have those data here in region. So we may not need all this. Then we have the territory as well. So we may not need. So I might have to delete, I think, from all the way from contacts. I might have to delete to the end. So this time around, I think I will hold down the shift button, not control this time. Now I'll hold down the shift button because I want to delete multiple columns. So you see it's highlighted all those areas for me. Then we can now go back to the home tab and we can click on remove columns. So, and that gives us the if we need to come back, we can always correct this later. So I'll just move to the next table, the employees table, just to show how we clean data anyway, because time is going. So I'll just quickly speed up. So we have employee one. Let's see what employee one is about. We don't need this. So this is duplicated now. We have employee one here. You have employee one here as well. So usually when you extract data, this is the more reason why we need to clean it. This is duplicated now. This is like a duplicate, it's applying twice. The others we don't need because we have the others table already.
Sorry, sir. I think I'm seeing employees one and employee one.
Okay, yeah. I didn't see the S, but yeah, we don't need this for the purpose of our analysis anyway. So we would take you because it's not all data, right, that is relevant for your analysis. You have relevant data and irrelevant data. You only keep the data that is relevant to what you are going to analyze, the questions you want to because what you are doing as a data analyst is that the management wants to make decision, the company wants to make decision, and they don't want to guess. So you have to help them to make informed decisions. So anything that will help us to make those informed decisions is what we are going to analyze. We don't just pick every data available. Only the relevant data that will help us solve their problems. So we already have employee table, so this is not relevant. So I'll take this out like I did. I'll press down. Okay, I don't need this as well. I don't need others. I don't need territories because we have territory table. So I just press down shift and just say remove columns. So we are cleaning the data now, right? So all this is cleaning data, trying to make it look tidy. Okay. So like we said, also, you want your ID to be in text. We don't want Excel to add it up. So we convert that to text. So it's left aligned now. The last name is fine, is in text. I don't think we need the title, not relevant. We don't want to discriminate, So we don't need title, we don't need date of birth, hire dates. These are for HR. We don't need this for this analysis. So address, we don't need, we don't need the address for anything, So this can stay in the HR system, the HR database, it can be there. But for the purpose of this analysis, we want to help the management to make decision. Address where employee lives and all this is not relevant to this decision we are trying to make. So it's irrelevant data. You have to take it out. So I think we might keep the city because the city can help us analyze what happened. Okay, we have regions. Okay, I might leave the city in. Let me just get rid of this. I can press shift key. Oh, sorry. So this time I'll right click instead of using remove columns, instead of going to the top. So I'll show you another method. So you remove columns. I think that's faster instead of going region. So you press down the shift key. And you can right click and just take everything out, remove columns. So I think our data is looking good enough. So I'll leave that. And employees, let me just try and rush so that okay. So like other we have said, we always want to keep it in text. So I've changed that to text. Product ID as well, we want to keep that in text. Quantity. So we don't need this column because so this already, we have this already in our orders, so we don't need that. Then we have the product details as well in our product. We have it in a table of its own. So I'll just press down Control and select this one as well. Then we can right click, remove columns. So let me just go back to what I did, just because the data is much. I can't see everything at a glance. So we can see that it's looking good, there's no error, there's no empty. So the formatting is okay. We've checked that. Let me switch that off for the moment. Except we want to look at the price and just say, okay, let's change that to currency just to make it look better. Yeah, so that's okay. So order ID, let me just use that column quality again. So it's looking a lot okay. I think in terms of the overall data. Okay, let's see. So order ID again, we always want to keep that in text. So we always want to keep that in text so that Excel doesn't add them up. We don't need the dates. You don't need the dates here. Or we may just keep, okay, we may just keep other dates. We need the dates, but we may just keep other dates, but we don't want time showing with that. So what we can do, we need other dates so that we can know the dates, the items were ordered. We might not need these, we might not need these, depending on what your analysis anyway, to depend on what you're trying to, what is relevant to your analysis. But for the purpose of our own analysis, this won't be important. So we could take everything out from this required dates. So you just press down the shift, press down shift, then use that to drag down, then press the last one. It selects everything for you. Then right click, remove columns. Then we can now change the dates now. So you just right click on that and you can now go to or to make it easy without stress, just go back to home and just go to okay, sorry. So just go here and just, I thought I was in Excel. So I thought I was doing, I'm in Power Query. So so just put dates because this one shows date and time. But we might need time sometimes for the analysis, really. But if you look at all this, it's just 0, 0, 0. So probably midnight or something, not relevant anyway to us for the purpose of this analysis. So you just click that, change that to dates. So we've got our dates. So we can now just see if the overall, if the data quality is looking good. So we have 100%, 100%, 100%. So the data quality is fine. So data quality is important, right? Because the lower your data quality, the lower your ability to automate systems in future. Because if you want to automate like a manual process, the data quality is very important. The higher the data quality, the higher the chances of getting automated. And of course, your decision making as well. The lower the quality, it might not give you good output at the end of the day, and your decision making could be affected because the quality of your data is poor. So data quality is very, very important in data analysis. So I'll just leave that out. So we've done to others. So I'll quickly rush through. I'll try to do this in 5 minutes because I want to show something. So let's just quickly look at the quality. So that seems to be okay. But we now want to do the formatting properly so that our ID can show texts, and just get rid of what we don't need. We want supply ID to be in text. It's currently showing numbers. We want our category ID to be in text. The unit price, we might want this to be in currency. Units in order, reorder level, discounted, category. I'm not sure we will need this for the purpose of our analysis. So I'll just press shift again, press and hold down, scroll to the end, press here again. It helps you select everything. Then you can now right click, remove columns. So you've removed that. So I'll still leave these details in for now. If it's not, at least we've cleared most of it. So I'll just leave that for now. So that's have we done products? Yeah, that's it. So regions, yeah. So the data is not many again. So we're getting there. So quickly change that. So I'll speed up. I'll just make sure I finish in the next 5 minutes. Try my best. So we change that to texts. Tables, we don't need territory because we have territories here. So I can remove that column. Remove. So we go to shippers. So again, ID, we don't want Excel to add up. So texts, phone number. Okay, we might leave the phone number. So we don't need that. Let's delete that. Delete the remove. So we might remove the phone number because we might already have the phone number in the. Oh no, okay. And let me just leave it anyway. So let me leave it. So suppliers, this is much. Let's look at the quality. It looks. So can you see this one now? It's showing 45 as valid, error, empty 55. So this is showing 17. Unfortunately, there are the columns we might not need. Region is showing. It may be good to keep one so that we can know how to correct this, so I may leave. Okay, region is already has its own table. I'm trying to see one to keep so that we can know how to correct. Anyway, let me just so you get the logic though. So okay, let me go back. So change. I'll be faster now because I don't want to repeat what I said before. Okay, so this is the suppliers ID. supplier's name, we have that, contact name, title, maybe not. We didn't keep for the customers. Okay, we might not keep for suppliers as well, just to be consistent. Region. Yeah, so I'll just take everything out from contact title, press down shift. Scroll to the end, click without leaving shifts, just hold to the end, then right click. Oh no, it's gone back. So, but once you release the button, you're gonna miss it. So you have to hold down shift until you click at the end. So we do that again. So you start from contact title, hold down shift now. As soon as you click that, the second step is hold down shift, hold it, don't release it. Then use this one to drag to the end. Then click now before you release shift, then release shift now. Then now right click, remove columns. So that's done it for us. So territory is the last one. And okay, so I'll just be fast. So we want to keep the territory ID, description, region ID. We can change that into text. So this is the record of the region. We already have that in the regions table. We already have the employees. So click, hold down control now because it's just one. Then right click, remove columns. Yeah, then I think then now it's like we've cleaned all our table now. Now you now have to connect them together, because without the connection that you can't do an analysis. So you now have to connect them together now. I've not really trimmed. Okay, I think I've missed some steps, but Sister Debbie will correct me because we need to trim the data sometimes as well. But I think I've missed. But just get the logic. I'm not perfect with the tools yet, but just the principles behind it that I'm grabbing first. Then I can perfect the tools as we go along. So we need to connect this data now, because without connection, the data will not come to life and you cannot do any analysis on it. So how do we do that? Can I remember? I think you have to merge queries. Merge queries. I've forgotten, but I'm trying to see if I remember what we're going to do. Okay, that's no. I think we have to look for the fact table now, because Sister Debbie told us what fact table is and what dimension table is. So when you are talking about facts are like transactions, events, whatever you are measuring. Anything you are measuring can be sales. Maybe you are measuring anything you want to measure. That's where where you record your measurement is your fact table. So let's look at orders. Let's look at other details. So we have the measures here. We have the price, you have the quantity, so this, I will say this is our fact table. So we're going to link all other tables to this one. So how do we do that? You merge queries. Yeah, I'm not the best with these tools yet, but so what do we want to okay, let's see. So I think we have to start with all the tables. So we link category to it, we connect that, and what is common to both of them? No, I'll be wrong if I do that. I'll be wrong because there's no direct link between. Okay, let me start with there has to be a direct link first. Let me start with orders first. So match queries. Now let's do orders. Then what is common to both? You have orders and orders. This is the common column to both of them. So 2155 or 2155 from first table. So, we now click OK now. Okay, let me just do them one by one, and then I can come and clean them up later. So order details, then match queries. Then we now go to, let's try product now.
Okay, what are we trying to do?
We are merging those tables so that we can create a relationship. Am I correct?
Okay. We formed our facts table already. We said it is other details. So we want to see how every of the other tables can have a direct link to it. Is that what you're saying, sir?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's close this one, this merge that we have at the moment.
Okay.
So because you've started a merge already, and you haven't completed that just yet.
Oh, this one?
You brought a table in.
All right.
You brought the orders table in. It still needs to be expanded so we can bring in what exactly we want to bring in.
Okay.
So what was our intention of starting this merge? We want customer ID to come in. If we don't have a customer ID yet,
Oh, I see now.
So as many columns that you want here, which are not in that other details table here.
Thank you so much.
You want to bring them in.
I'm not used to the two, but I think the concept,
But you're doing well, sir. You really are. In fact, I like the pace that you have used tonight because it helps people to understand better. Because so I'm really very, in fact, I was just dancing my way up and down.
And I'm not really practice, so I just the one that's in my head, that's the one I'm using. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. That's an encouragement. Thank you. So employee ID. Yeah, so we brought other IDs already there, so we don't need that again. Am I correct, Mr. Debbie, from this point?
You are correct. If we keep scrolling down, you may find other columns.
Nothing more.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, so yeah, and let's uncheck that use original column so that yeah. Okay. So in this table now, you've got how many IDs? Have we got all the IDs coming?
So we have no, we only have.
So we got other ID, product ID, customer ID,
employee ID. So we still need
the
categories.
other ones.
Do you have products?
I think I saw products.
We have products, yeah.
Yes.
So we need suppliers and territories, shippers, regions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to always go back to other details, right?
Well, we are bringing everything into other
details.
But we just need to be sure that what you are the next table you want to link in has a direct link that you can use to merge. For example, you want to bring in the categories, is it? Or which one are you bringing in now?
Yeah, if I want to bring in categories, I have to go through products, right? Because categories is a sub-dimension of products.
Okay. And categories has no direct link to other details, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you bring it to products first, then products to other details.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. That's a flow I wanted to. So products. Merge queries. So we bring in category. Let me just, because me and Sister Debbie may be understanding each other because of the language. But products, look at it in form of a parent and a child. Product is like the parents, and category are like the children. So you can't go and just link children. It's the parent that will be talking to other parents. You understand? Not the children talking to the parent. That's why we are going through these routes, because category is a child of products. Category cannot go and be talking to other parents outside. He has to go through his father or mother. So the father and mother will go and talk to other people. So that's the logic anyway, the simple way I can explain it. So categories, and what is common to both is the category ID. So this ties both of them together now and brings, it creates a connection. So 77 of 77 rows. I'll get better and better in my explanation. Just forgive me tonight. I'm trying my best, but my explanation will get better.
Sorry, I noticed something now. I noticed that we've got category ID in product already. Isn't it?
In products?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we didn't need this merge. We can just put the category ID straight into other details without doing this merge. I didn't realize category ID was, already on this table.
Okay, we should have checked. Okay, let me just check all the other IDs we need. Okay, so we have supplier ID. Okay,
we have supplier, we have all of those. So they can all come in straight away.
Category, but we don't have territory. Okay, let's bring in. So after this, we'll still need territory and region. We have supplier here, we have category here. Okay, let's bring in this first. So other details. So we are doing this because we want to create a relationship, because without that, we can't do our analysis, So we merge queries. I want to bring in products now, because products has suppliers and has category and those things we want to link. So so what do you want to link from? So what's common to both now? Let's see what's common to both. So product ID is common to both. Then we can now click OK. So order ID, product ID. Then, I didn't expand the other one, did I? So then we now choose what we want to come in. So what do we have already? We have product ID here. So we have order ID, product ID, customer ID, employee ID. So we have 4 of our ID. So let's look at other things we don't have. We don't have category ID. What else? Just category ID that we don't have. Yeah.
And supplier. We don't have supplier ID. You got supplier here. So we can click supplier.
Okay. I thought I saw supplier. Okay. Oh, okay. My eyes. So you're correct. Yeah. So then this territory, let's see. So region ID. So let's see what is still missing. So we have other product ID.
I think
is there a way of moving all these IDs together, Sister Debbie? Like shifting them and let them be side by side?
I believe you can drag the column if you want.
So that you don't have to keep scrolling, you know what I mean? So select and drag, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Fantastic. I work too.
And it's giving you the formula that was used. You reordered column. So you reordered the column now.
Wow.
That's the step it's added for you.
Well, that's so that we can see everything side by side instead of scrolling to the end. So you click and drag. That's how I moved it. And you drop it there. You click also, then you drag it. You drop it there. Then you click, select all, click, then drag. So let's see side by side. So we have products, customer, employee, supplier, category. So territory is missing. Region is missing. Territory is missing. Region is missing. What about shippers?
Shippers is also missing.
Shippers is missing.
So we need the ship via.
But ship via is in orders details. Let's see. Oh no.
I think it was in orders, but it's been removed. So if we go back into the removed columns, we might be able to retrieve it. So if you go back into that step, it's not giving us. Yeah, no. Close this. I saw something now. You know, when you clicked on this, where if you look at the formula bar, it's giving you the list of columns that you removed.
Oh.
So if you remove backspace, you know, come to ship via in that formula.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the comma of it, the comma after it. Let's backspace and remove ship via from that list. You know, so
Just
we'll have it.
Let me just 1 second.
All right.
So backspace, you said?
Yes, we just backspace to take ship via out of that list and leave it here. Yeah, that's fine. And enter that or click on the tick sign. If you can just click enter, you know, to enter that or click that. So that returns our ship via.
Wow, that's interesting.
You know, so if we know how to, we don't have to know the formula in that formula, but if we can just know how to manipulate it to our own advantage, that's all we need to know. So it's useful in that sense. Now, ship via is an ID. So let's change it to, yes, our usual ID text. Insert, that's fine. Okay. So if we come back to the last step here, and let's see that what we've done is fine. Okay, so we are fine. So if we now go to, we should now be able to do our merge now. We need ship via to go to order details. So you can merge order details and orders to bring in ship via.
It is okay to bring in, yes, okay, to bring in ship via, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the territories? We'll do that later, right?
Yes, we can do that later.
Okay, let's do.
Territory is the last one. I think I removed territory from my work.
Oh,
because
okay.
it wasn't very relevant to what we were doing. So I didn't bother with territories, to be honest.
So merge queries. And we want our orders because we want to bring in the ship via. So what is common to both? Order ID. So we can use that to link them because it's common to both. Then we expand this. Then what we need is the ship via. We have order ID already. We have employee ID. And we just click OK. So we can just drag that as well, so that it can be side by side, so that we can. So you said we don't need we should leave territory out, right?
Yeah, I will say delete territory out. Just right click and delete it, so that we can bring this in and save the work that you have done already.
Okay, right click from here.
Yes, we can right click and delete.
Okay, thank you. Delete. So we can now close and apply, right?
Close and load to. Close and load to. Let's use close and load to, so that we can use that for that's a relationship thing.
Save your changes to this query, close the query editor and spread. Okay. Close and load to. What's the difference between close and load and?
This is where it helps us to load to our data model. Okay. That power pivot that we saw. Okay. So if we click on the add this to data model.
Yeah.
I don't believe we want the table, but you may want the table. It's your choice. You know, whichever one you want it to load to, either table, pivot table, report, pivot charts, or only create connection. The last one I did, I only created a connection. I didn't bring the table in just to save space. It only brought in the connection. Okay. But like I said, it's a choice. But we know that we will get the data model. That's the difference. If you just say close and load, it just brings all of the tables into the Excel without you creating that relationship the way you want to create.
Okay. So you have to click close and load to, and click on add this to data. Okay, it doesn't add. Now I see the difference.
Yeah, it doesn't automatically give us that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So should we click on pivot? Should we leave it as a table or click on pivot table?
Whichever one. Let's see. We've done online connection before. Let's do table and see what we get.
Table, okay. Still loading. It's a bit slow.
Oh. It is. I'm looking for your power pivot.
I haven't seen it as well. Maybe it's going to come up at the end.
So it's loaded it as table.
Loaded it as table.
And then where is our the data model that we've said load it to? Because it should have that power pivot on top there, where we can easily see, you know, the connection that it has created between each table, the way we saw it the other time. So I'm thinking you might need to add in power pivot and stuff into your Excel.
Okay. Is it not there?
As add-in or something. Sometimes it needs to be activated if it's not 365, Microsoft 365.
Under what add-ins, right?
I believe so, yes.
So is it power
pivot for Excel? Yeah, should be that one. Wait, Excel add-in.
Oh, sorry, I was too fast. Sorry.
So power pivot, and then where it says manage, I think there's something else that we need. Yeah, com add-ins. It should become add-ins that we.
What's the meaning of that com add-ins?
You know, I'm not very sure, to be honest.
Okay.
I just did. I know I've seen it.
So do we say go or okay?
We can okay it.
Not go first.
I don't think so. Just okay. So if you save this work I think it's
come
when
back.
you restart your Excel that it comes in. I believe that's how it works. So,
Okay, so, and
but yeah, save it so that then you can always go back to it. I'm going to stop recording.